What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Crew 2, and in this video I will be going over all 8 steps in the Gold Rush story to get this done as quickly as possible. So starting right off here with step number 1, Brother's House. Find this house in St. George, far east of Las Vegas. For step number 1, all you have to do is locate a house in the St. George area, and luckily it's pretty easy to find. It'll be right over here by the cliff's edge. Now, I noticed the fastest way to get to the location of this house is going to be from spawning at the street race over here. It basically puts you in a straight line with it. Now, if you really wanted to, you could spawn over here to this touring car race and jump into a plane and then switch to your car when you get close to the house, but I found the street race to be a little bit easier. Moving over to step number 2, Army Surplus. Travel from Red Rock, far east of Las Vegas, to the shop called Army Surplus in Salt Lake City, far northeast of Las Vegas, with any ground vehicle. So for step number 2, you have to leave from the Red Rock area and then head over to Salt Lake City. Now, if you really wanted to, you could just leave from the house over here in St. George, which might be the quickest way to do this. Or what I recommend also doing is spawning over here to this rally raid race kind of in the middle of nowhere, driving that truck and or car, whatever you guys might be driving, until you get to the street, switch to your favorite car, and then pretty much follow the road all the way until you get to the Army Surplus store located in Salt Lake City. Moving over to step number 3, the hotel. Travel from Salt Lake City to the hotel's car park far north of Salt Lake City between Fergus Pass and Northern Rockies with any ground vehicle. So for step number 3, you will have to leave from the Salt Lake City area. Now, I noticed for some weird reason the Army Surplus store is not in Salt Lake City. Well, at least the beginning of it over here isn't. So I backed up like 10 feet and I was good to go right about in this area. Then after that, you guys have to head up toward this mountain road over here. It's about 10 miles or so to where the hotel is located. Moving over to step number 4, Hotel on the Lake. Travel from Glacier Park far north of Salt Lake City to the hotel located between Ivory Spring and Glacier Park far northeast of Salt Lake City with any ground vehicle. So step number 4 requires you to head over to the hotel from the Glacier Park area, and well, luckily there's a hovercraft event literally right next to the hotel. So all you guys have to do is spawn to this and then basically drive like 20 feet and you'll be able to validate the story step. Moving over to step number 5, the Sawmill. Travel from Glacier Park to the Sawmill southwest of St. Mary, east of Glacier Park with any ground vehicle. So for step number 5, you will have to leave from the Glacier Park area and then head over to the Sawmill located by St. Mary. Now for this one, I recommend spawning at the Demolition Derby. I feel like this is the best option instead of spawning on top of the mountain over here. And luckily, it's only about 10 miles or so away right over by St. Mary. I also wanted to throw this in here as well for step number 5 if you guys might have been wondering. So I noticed after I did this, you actually could technically come over to the Glacier Park low altitude and then switch to a ground vehicle over here and then actually head over to where St. Mary's Sawmill is, which would be right over here. This could also work as well. Moving over to step number 6, the shelter. Travel from Glacier Park to the shelter between the Badlands and Black Hills with any ground vehicle. So for step number 6, you will have to leave from the Glacier Park area and then head over to the shelter that will be between the Badlands and the Black Hills. So for this one, I recommend leaving from the Sawmill from the previous step. I really feel like this might be the quickest way there. It will be about 10 miles away. Moving over to step number 7, building in Chicago. Travel from Black Hills, far west of Chicago, to the building in New East Side, Chicago with any ground vehicle. So step number 7 requires you to leave from the Black Hills area. Now for me, I was testing this area out a little bit, and the quickest one I found to spawn to would be the aerobatics race here. It's literally right next to the street, and it will be about 9 miles away from the building that's located in Chicago. And now moving over to the final step, Brothers Mansion. Travel from Chicago to this house in Lower Peninsula, east of Chicago, west of Monroe with any ground vehicle. So for step number 8, all you guys now have to do is leave from the Chicago area, basically from the building that was in step number 7, and the mansion's luckily pretty close by at around 10 miles away.